Guys, what's going on? John Anthony, Chair Shot Sports. Wow. Wow. Wow for two reasons. One, AEW Revolution delivered on what it was supposed to be. And two, we are tired. We're recording in the early hours of Monday morning. For a lot of you, you're probably still sleeping or just getting to sleep. And those of you that didn't go through the scrum, you just went to bed. So you're probably watching this. It's early Monday. You're heading out to work. You're hitting the gym. You're listening to us go on your morning run. We appreciate it. Again, you can find us on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Instagram at Chairshot Sports. Listen, the way we're going to run this down, I have a lot to talk about for AEW Revolution. I want to talk about all the matches. I also want to talk about NXT Roadblock. Um, so we're going to go through quick a lot of the little matches, and I want to spend the time on the big matches. Obviously, talk about Sting, Darby Allin. Wow, what a match! Amazing. So we're just going to get right into it. Go through. Like I said, don't even think I'm trying to breeze through certain matches. But listen, it's late. Got a lot to talk about. I don't want to keep you guys here for 2 or 3 hours talking about stuff. So, all right, cool. So, hey, at our prediction wise, we went 6-5. Not our best. Not proud of it. I think there's a lot of moves with titles in certain situations where the wrong move was made. But hey, like I said, I don't run AEW. I'm sure Tony Khan has his own vision of what's going to happen. Things are going to go down. If you see me looking over here to my right, the scrum is still going on for AEW Revolution. They're talking to Sting and Darby Allin. So just looking over, seeing some things. So hey, let's get a quick 12-man tag match that kicked off. The interesting thing is Max is messing up his lines. This is the second week in a row this has happened of messing up, coming out with his raps. This is obviously something that is not normal. The guy is smooth on the mic, probably the smoothest since John Cena to come out there and just spit things into the mic for the crowd to get him going. So I think this is a storyline issue, whatever's going on. I think that'll make itself relevant in the next couple weeks. I don't think it's going to take that long. So yeah, it's the Bang Bang Scissor Gang against Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Private Party, throwing all these guys together. Like we called, Jay White hits the Blade Runner. Bang Bang Scissor Gang gets the win. There was no doubt, I think, from any angle where they weren't going to get that win. Then we go into the women's match on the 0 hour. It was Julia Hart and Sky Blue versus Statlander and Willow Nightingale. I felt that Julia Hart should have been on the main roster defending the TBS championship. She wasn't. She was in a tag match, which is, as long as she's featured, which is always good for everybody. I really thought her and Sky Blue were going to take that win. Nightingale's got Statlander in. Nightingale gets the pin and gets the win on that, which is awesome. Here we go. Halfway through 0 hour, they announced that Christian Cage and Daniel Garcia were going to kick off the show for the TNT Championship. Great match, really good. I like how the older guys are starting to give back to the younger guys in AEW. Garcia, I know he has his little dance gimmick he comes out with, but the guy's good in the ring. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Got a good brain for the business. I think he can really be something in a really good singles career. Can really do something for himself. Early on, Christian goes with the hurt ankle. It looks like maybe he might have actually tweaked the ankle through the rest of the match, whether he was doing a really good sell job throughout the entire thing, kind of limping around, hitting his moves. He did drop pretty quickly when he was bounced off the ropes going for a move. So that could be something to look for down the road. I had thought that Edge at some point would have some kind of interference to kind of even out against all, obviously, the entire family that comes with Christian Cage. A lot of outside interference. Obviously, it was Daddy Magic that came down to give Garcia a hand, trying to equal out the interference. Mama Wayne was there doing her thing. At the end of the day, Nick Wayne gets over when the ref isn't looking, pulls down Daniel Garcia's neck on the rope, pops up after being hurt. Christian hits the kill switch. 1, 2, 3, boom. Christian Cage retains the TNT Championship. Good match all around. Really good storytelling. Garcia definitely has a great future. I think this story is not done whatsoever. Maybe you see a triple threat down the road when Edge comes back with Edge, Garcia, and Christian. I still stand by the fact that I think in some way, shape, or form, Edge and Christian are going to form their own teams and head down the road for Blood and Guts. After that, the next match up was Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston for the Continental Crown. Again, this is another one we missed on. I had thought that Bryan would pull this out. I think it was time for him to taste his first AEW gold since being with the promotion. I thought Kingston got this as a nod as being a good soldier, going out there taking L's, doing what he has to do, doing his crowd work. It was great back and forth. The technical prowess of both of them. I mean, Kingston does some weird things. He does the machine gun chops, things like that. That are a little weird. Obviously, Bryan Danielson's out there just killing it, doing an amazing job. The false finishes. I really thought Bryan had him. 2 or 3 knees to the face. Eddie kicking out of those, and then Eddie hitting the power bomb for the 1, 2, 3 was great. Again, I really don't think it's the best move moving forward. I'm always in the camp of I love an underdog story, and what is he called, the bums champion or the king of the bums. That's a great thing to go with. That's a great story when you're doing the underdog thing, but it can't really last that long. Unfortunately, I really thought Danielson was the one guy to take it off of him, and maybe they have a rematch down the road. But I mean, I guess for right now, it's really just going to be Eddie Kingston moving forward. We'll see what happens at the next AEW pay-per-view. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The next match after that was the 8-man All-Star Scramble that replaced the Meat Madness match with Miro and Keith Lee being injured. They had to rebrand the match, throw some other people in there. It was awesome. I mean, it had everything you wanted in the match. You had some big guys and some little guys. They had the 4 guys in there. You had Powerhouse. You had Wardlow. You had Archer in there doing their thing, all fighting each other, throwing each other around. That was great. And then the other guys got in, Jericho, Dante Martin. All the little guys get in there, do their thing, start throwing around a lot of finishers, a lot of false finishes, a lot of in and outs, a lot of submissions. What you would do for a normal, 8-man, 6-man tag, which was great. And like we said, at the end of the day, Wardlow ends up getting the power bomb and the 1, 2, 3 on Dante Martin. So now Wardlow, moving forward, has a future AEW World Heavyweight Championship match in his pocket, almost like a Money in the Bank, if you will, if you want to call it that, or just whatever, brass ring, whatever AEW likes to call it. So Wardlow has that, which is great. Like we talked about, it makes sense with the undisputed storyline with him and Adam Cole, and we'll talk a little bit about more with the undisputed and their storyline in a minute. Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong for the international title. This match was amazing. I like how I kind of saw when the trainer was talking about how Cassidy had to be wrapped as far as his back and ribs and things like that before he could actually be cleared. There was kind of like that prelude to, you kind of thought there was something going on where he wasn't 100% to go, and kind of leaning into the results of the show. Results of the match on the show. So much offense from Roderick Strong. Amazing. Just dominated the first I want to say 2/3 of that match. In the 11th hour, Cassidy came back, put up a hell of a fight. Amazing job. At the end of the day, Roddy hits the finisher, gets the 1, 2, 3, takes that title off of Orange Cassidy. You think we're done. He's celebrating in the ring. But who comes out of the ring? Who comes in the ring? Kyle O'Reilly? What? Huh? What? Kyle O'Reilly? Wild. They stand off. They look at each other. Obviously, they embrace, going back to their Undisputed Era days, over in WWE NXT. And his little time in AEW before he got injured. They embrace. He steps back. They give him a shirt. The Undisputed Kingdom gives him a shirt. Looks at it, hands it back, whispers something into Roddy's ear, pats him on the back, and walks away. I'm sure, I'm very, very sure, 125% sure that we're going to address this on Wednesday on Dynamite. I'm sure O'Reilly will have some words and a statement about what happened with him coming back, what it means, and what exactly he said to Roddy before he left the ring. After that, we then head into the FTR versus the BCC. I don't really think I need to say anything about this match. If you didn't watch the pay-per-view, there's nothing I can say, no words that I can give you that do this justice. This is wild that this media scrum is still going on. It's about 1:35 in the morning, East Coast time. This is wild. There's nothing I can say to you that does this match justice. You need to watch it. You need to watch it. It's amazing. Yeah, Claudio hits a giant swing. You got the Shatter Machine, go to the Doomsday Device, BCC style. It was amazing. Claudio off the top rope. A lot of false finishes. Neutralizer with a spike pile driver. All these things going on one-on-one. Everyone's hitting each other. Finally, we get to it. We hit the Death Rider, and then ultimately you get a double rear naked choke from Claudio and Mox on FTR with taps and submissions to get them to submit. BCC gets the win. Again, we called that. It was a great match. As we said, always a good match when these guys get in the ring. No matter who wins, everyone wins. No matter who wins or loses, team-wise. Toni Storm and Deonna Purrazzo. Great back and forth. There's a little too much outside interference for my liking. And I'm not saying this because I thought Purrazzo was going to win this match. Toni Storm does go over. A lot of interference from Luther. A lot of interference from Maria May. I just think I just thought like you maybe just have Luther interfere. You do some look over here, ref, and do like a one move thing. A lot of interference makes Toni look kind of weak, and maybe that's the point moving forward. Not to jump into that, but the media scrum, Toni made it very clear. Anyone else who wants a shot, there is a ranking system. So F off and follow that if you want a shot. She alluded to big business, not mentioning Mercedes, but that's obviously going to be probably the headliner going into either AEW Dynasty or Full Gear. And we'll talk about Dynasty in a little bit if you didn't watch the pay-per-view. So then, now listen, I'm going to say this because a lot of people watching this, I'm sure, follow me. I saw the comments. Listen, if you didn't watch the Will Ospreay and the Tashida match, okay, listen. I know there's a lot of no selling. I know there's a lot of false finishes. Okay? This is the problem. If you don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, this is what they do. It's not so much the moves or what they're doing. It's the cardio. It's the stamina, but going. And that's exactly what Ospreay and Tashida did. Okay? Yeah, I mean, here and there, they're selling I'm hurt. Okay, at one point, Ospreay took an elbow to the face. He's drooling out of his mouth. He still comes back with an elbow on Tashida. If you watch New Japan, and that's my biggest problem with American people who don't watch outside of WWE or even AEW. AEW seems to be the first people to kind of turn the corner with the strong style kind of wrestling. It's that is strong style. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. You're going to beat the shit out of me. But I'm going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going and going and going. Move after move after move. Finish, pin, 1, 2, get out, kick out, finish, top rope. Here we go. It's nonstop. That's the strong style. It's elbows. It's kicks. It's off the top rope. It's strong hitting. If you didn't watch the match, you are not going to see hitting in this match anywhere in WWE. I'll tell you that right now. This is what you see in New Japan. This is the strong style type of match that you would even see if Jay White got in the ring with these guys. Amazing showing from Will Ospreay. And Tashida, amazing. Tashida's a beast. And a lot of you have not witnessed these two athletes on American soil enough to understand what they can do in matches. I get it. And that's what I'm saying. I get it. Don't at me with their, how can you say that? There's better. Yeah, there's a lot of other better matches you've probably seen other promotions where they get kicked in the face and they sell it. They're down for 2.5 minutes, get up all groggy. The strong styles, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. You're going to get back up and kick the shit out of me, and I'm going to beat the shit out of you even more. That's strong style. That's how they do it. Not a lot of top rope shit. I'll tell you right now, Will Ospreay is so lucky to survive the turnbuckle brainbuster that he took, that Tashida hit him with. If you haven't seen it, it's a botch. If you Google it right now, you watch our show, don't leave now. Wait till we're done. Go on YouTube, Google it. Missed the mark 100%. Ospreay came down on his lower back, kind of about where the liver is, and smashed into the turnbuckle. You can see he was in obvious pain. It was a miss. It was a botch. It was a missed spot. But again, this guy got up and just went to town. They kept going. Ospreay goes ahead and hits the Tiger Driver, hits the Hidden Blade. These are moves I'm saying you guys are probably like, what? Huh? Tiger Drivers aren't really allowed in WWE because of the impact on the head. The Hidden Blade, same thing. Not a move really done by anybody. Ospreay comes out 1, 2, 3. I think it was an amazing match. Really took the roof off the place. And again, you have to open your mind a little bit when you're watching the scrum's still going on. This is wild. You have to open your mind and you have to understand that like there's different styles of wrestling and these matches show that. Not everything is going to be done as WWE. There's a reason why a Jay Cargill or a Brian Pillman or Alexis King, come to WWE and it takes them a little while to debut. What they knew in either New Japan or in AEW without a performance center, they come to WWE. There's a certain way WWE puts on their matches and a certain way they present everything, which is phenomenal. It's awesome. I love it. Everyone else loves it. But if you watch other promotions, what you need to do, watch the product. And when I say watch the product, I mean across the globe. Do it for yourself. Be intellectual. Again, not a lot of people have time for 5 hours of wrestling, let alone 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of Dynamite, 2 hours of TNA, 2 hours of SmackDown, this on Collision. I get it. People like me, I get it. I have to watch it. I do this show. I talk about it. I tweet about it. It's like 25, 26 hours of wrestling and also tuning in and watching New Japan and NWA and things like that. But before you go out of your way to go on to Twitter and social media and troll and shit on a match or product, understand that is the way the match is supposed to be presented to you. That's the way that these guys are supposed to go out and go. 110% go, 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 go. And toward the end, yeah, when the final 2, 3 moves happen, boom, 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 now I get the 1, 2, 3. That's the way it's supposed to be presented. We beat the hell out of each other. Took it to the breaking point, and I finally got the last 2 hits on you to put you down for the 1, 2, 3. That's strong style. No flips, no kicks. Not trying to steal from FTR, but like it's just nothing cute. Just banging off of ropes, slamming my elbow into your face, forearms to the face, chops, kicking you in the face. Ospreay gave some of the best kicks to Tashida that I've ever seen in a long, long time. I've watched a lot of Will Ospreay, but this I can tell you right now, I am very excited to watch him in his AEW run, and he's going to bring a lot of eyes onto AEW. I'll tell you that right now. Will Ospreay might go down. I'm going to say right now, what are we? We're on March. It's March 3rd. Well, right now we're on March 4th. Will Ospreay, I think, may be Wrestler of the Year for 2024. Mark that down. Write it down. Go back to this episode and look at next January when they announce the winners. Will Ospreay has so much to give to the American wrestling fan, bringing what he's done in New Japan and all over the world. So much and so much to give. So much to give. I can call it right now. He's my 2024 Wrestler of the Year. So Ospreay got the win on that. Amazing match. Then here we go. We run out to the AEW Heavyweight Championship match with Samoa Joe, Hangman Page, and Swerve Strickland coming out. I've been beating the drum. I said it in the prediction show. I've been saying it on a lot of my on a lot of podcasts I've done on talking about this the Revolution pay-per-view. I think Swerve is the man to take that belt right now. I think it's the way you want to go. It just makes sense right now for eyes on the product. And again, obviously, like he's come out and said that it's history, it's cinema. He would be the first African American champion for AEW. That's amazing. That's not the reason why he should win, but it's definitely an added bonus when you're talking about the importance of his win. Not only how quick he's risen in the ranks to get to this spot since signing last year with the company. He's been in a couple of defunct factions, but where he is now is amazing. It's a credit to him and his ability and what he can do as a wrestler. Typical triple threat stuff back and forth. Samoa Joe comes out, beats the hell out of both of them. Samoa Joe showed out this match. He went to town on both these guys. Like he went to town for a good 15, 20 minutes on just owning both of them and keeping them both away from each other and just keeping them both on the mat or outside the ring. Eventually, you do your typical tag triple threat stuff. One guy goes to the other. They're doing tag moves on each other. Eventually, ref gets knocked out. Page pulls the ref out, knocks him out, grabs the AEW championship, hits Swerve in the face, not once but twice with it, knocks him out to the other side. Page is yelling at him, "This is my title. You're never going to have it. This is my title." Obviously, Page hits his finisher, hits the lariat, goes for a pin. By the time a ref comes down, 1-2 kick out. A lot of other false pins with Hangman. Strickland goes for his pin. 1-2. Page comes over, beats the living hell out of the ref. Just keeps beating him from behind on the top of his head for knocking him out. I'm sure that's going to be some kind of fine or suspension angle with Page. Heyman destroyed him. It was rough. Like, he's just beating the hell out of the back of his head. I've never even seen that in WWE. Picks the ref up, throws him out of the ring. The first ref from the first one is just starting to get up. Back and forth. Everyone's hitting each other with finishers. Swerve gets Hangman. Joe comes out of nowhere. Boom. Hits Swerve. Then chokes out Hangman. Now, the interesting thing about this is, as Hangman is like sitting there trying to go, you see Swerve very, very close. You see him reaching up, trying to pin it out. And then Page goes ahead and taps out. Now, the mantra, you would think, just whatever the time is right now, the scrum is just ending. That's wild. Almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Wow. So the story here going is, did Page tap out because, did Heyman Page tap out because he was getting choked out, or so Swerve couldn't break it up and get another and keep getting his shot at the belt in this match? The Strickland Page rivalry isn't done, I don't think, by any stretch of the imagination. I think there's a lot more to be told, some more matches, some more length in that rivalry, which can be good. I just don't want them to beat it up and go too far where you're like, okay, guys, we get it. Okay, you guys gotta hate a rivalry, get in a Hell in a Cell, figure it out, beat the hell out of each other, call it a day. Go to bull rope match or whatever. I can't see the two of them getting teams going to Blood and Guts. So maybe figuring out some sort of death match thing going on. I mean, technically they would need another death match that didn't get called because of time. So maybe go the distance and see what happens. And then we came to the main event. Sting and Darby Allin versus the EVPs, Matt and Nick Jackson, a.k.a. the Young Bucks. I can't sit here and tell you the range and the spectrum of emotions that went through watching this match. If you're a younger person that only really watched the AEW and you only really know Sting from this promotion, obviously you're going to be like, oh, wow, yeah, Sting was great. He came in 2020. He's been here for like 4 years, and he's 29-0. He's undefeated. That's awesome. Like, he's going out on top. And then if you're someone like me who's going to be 40 in a few months, I've watched all I've known is Sting my entire wrestling life. I've seen Surfer Sting. I've seen Wolfpack Sting. I've seen Joker Sting. I've seen Crow Sting. I've seen WWE Sting. And now I've seen TNA Sting. I've seen AEW Sting. I've seen Sting. He's timeless. There's timeless Tony Storm. There's timeless Sting. The man has wrestled everywhere. TNA, NWA, WWE, AEW, everywhere. Impact, because Impact became like from TNA and all that. He's been everywhere. Sting is a legend. He was amazing. And tonight, even more amazing than I thought he would be. Matt, I'm not going to just, we can go play by play. Early on, Sting gets taken out, gets thrown through a table off the entrance. Darby Allin probably took the spot of the year. I know a lot of people are coming out talking a lot of ish about him taking this spot. Listen. If someone in WWE had taken this spot, okay, and I know I'm right, don't at me, okay? You can comment on this, hit me up on Twitter. If someone in WWE, I can't even think right now of someone, a high flyer in WWE that would attempt this right now. Maybe a Ricochet. I don't know. Maybe someone in the New Day. Maybe a Kofi. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. It's got to be someone in NXT. None of the older guys are going to do it. It's got to be someone in NXT. Maybe one of the Creed brothers takes it. I mean, they wear singlets. The point of it is because Darby doesn't wear a shirt, so his back was totally exposed. Long story short, what I'm getting at is Darby goes up to the top. He sets up 4 chairs and sets up actual plain glass. And apparently the running theory is right now this was done on purpose as a shot because obviously the Jacksons are involved. This was done as a shot at CM Punk with the not real glass with the whole Perry situation, the whole Jack Perry situation. It was real pane glass, probably this thick, no exaggeration. Go watch the pay-per-view, you'll see. This thick. Whether it was the sugar glass or whatnot. It wasn't. It was real glass. Trust me. Watch the pay-per-view. Go on YouTube. Check out the highlights. Holy shit. Holy shit. Darby climbs to the top of the ladder. He's going to jump off. I believe he was going to hit Nick. No, Matt. He was going to hit Matt. Matt moves. Darby goes through this entire sheet of glass. Now, I have the pictures on our Twitter, Chairshot Sports. Instant bleeding. He's got a chunk it looks like about this big, coming out of his scapula. The camera goes on him. You see blood. You see like little beads here and there. The camera comes off. They're on the Jacksons, whatever. They come back. Darby's bleeding from like 35 different places on his back. This man has glass all in his back, all in him. It's probably going to take a good week and a half to get it all out of him. Wild spot. And then I go on to Twitter. What do I see? Yo, bro isn't getting paid enough for this. My man's cooked. Why would you do this? Darby, it's not worth it. Why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? Because what? It's AEW? What you need to understand is Darby did this for Sting. Darby wanted Sting to have one of the most realistic, over-the-top matches that you could have while not looking at it going, this is pretty stupid, or you're going, whoa, wow, look at that spot. And that's exactly what they did. It just infuriates me sometimes, because if WWE, I'm not going to keep going back and rehash what I just said, but I'm telling you, if someone like Ricochet took this bump, or someone in NXT, something wild, at Battleground or at Deadline or at Stand Deliver, and it went through some glass and they're bleeding everywhere. It's NXT. Because AEW does it, you're going to sit here and you're going to trash it. That's bullshit. Get out of here with that. Darby Allin wanted to do one of the best spots he could and make some of the most realistic things that he could for Sting as a tribute to Sting. Gave his body up. He told Sting, I'll die for you in that ring. And he damn sure came close to it. That piece of glass, you can't miss it. Go on YouTube and watch it. Go on our Twitter and look. The glass is like this thick, and it's sticking out of his back. Wild stuff. Anyway, that spot comes through. Now Darby's out for a while. Sting gets in the ring, gets his ass thrown around, takes two EVP triggers to the face, doesn't get pinned, and then they set up another sheet of glass. Now you can see how thick it is. That's also on our Twitter at Chairshot Sports. Sting gets thrown through that. Now, luckily, Sting is covered. He has his tights. He has his shirt. He's not taking any of that stuff. He gets thrown through head first. Excuse me, like a back flip chair, face first throw. He takes that bump. So just taking a look at my notes because there's so much to take in. Pretty much the ending goes. Sting does a death drop, goes for the pin, doesn't get it. Turns him around. Darby hits a coffin drop. Sting gets, I believe it was Nick in the Scorpion Deathlock, and they submit 1, 2, 3. Darby Allin and Sting walk away clean as go into the sunset as AEW Tag Team Champions to finish off AEW Revolution. Now, when I said clean, I said it was going to be without other people interfering. Flair got involved for a minute, saying leave Sting alone. He's out. Don't leave him alone. Don't do this. Leave him alone. There's no real bad outside interference. Sting stuns were involved in the beginning of the match. In their entrance, one came out as Surfer Sting. His other son came out as Wolfpack Sting, and then out came actual Sting, which is an amazing moment. It was good to see all three featured on the stage at one time, which was great. Before I start, so that was that. I mean, overall, I'd give the pay-per-view solid B+. I understand it was 4 hours to get 9 matches in. I don't think per se anything was rushed. The Tony Storm, and again, I wasn't sitting here with a stopwatch. Okay, I see some of this stuff off of other sites and things like that. The women's match, the Tony Storm and Deonna Purrazzo match, was 10 minutes long. I don't feel like your women's match should be 10 minutes long. And I'm not sitting here trying to defend the women. I think they should have longer matches than the men. But that's a rivalry that you've been building on for 2 months now. And just throw it 10 minutes with a shit ton of interference and Tony wins. That's what I'm saying. It's weak. It's lazy. It's easy. And I get it. But this is your biggest pay-per-view of the year. What I was getting into earlier when I said we went 6 and 5. Again, I'm not Tony Khan. Okay, I'm not creative. I'm not saying I can book better than this guy, that I can build his programs better than he can, or whoever helps him do creative. But there was so much opportunity to take the belt off of Kingston, to take it off of Christian Cage, to take it off of Tony Storm. It made sense. It wasn't like you're just doing it because, it's a big pay-per-view, we have to have title changes. No, it made sense. Like, Garcia's getting his ass kicked by 3 other people. Where's Edge? Edge comes down. You don't even have to hit his music. You don't even need You don't even need that. Have Edge come out of the crowd in a black hoodie and just spear somebody. Hit kill switch. You know what I mean? Hit Nick. Hit somebody. Just be the equalizer. It makes sense. Garcia goes over, and it's a lazy pin. Throw the pin or go in and while everyone's outside the ring and the ref's not looking. Spear Christian Cage. Edge rolls out of the ring. Garcia rolls in, puts his lazy arm over 1, 2, 3. Then you have Cage can be like, "Look, I didn't lose because of you. I lost because of Edge." And with Perosa not winning, I just think that was lazy booking. I'm sorry. And I'm not saying because it was the women's match. It's just so much outside interference and just this. I don't know. It's just it's wild. So to talk before we get into NXT and to get into Battleground, just talk about some of the predictions of the matches going on. The media scrum, I tweeted out a little bit while it was going on live. They did an interview with Samoa Joe. He opened up the scrum. He was talking about the ranking systems. That was brought up. He still thinks it's a great thing to have. He does feel like it should be looked at more moving forward. I think they're doing the same thing WWE does. Revolution is almost like their reset. So starting this upcoming Wednesday, I think you're going to see it's the new 2024. It's the new year going into the next Revolution. which I like. I like having that one pay-per-view where it's like this is the culmination of an entire 12 months. And now we're going to reset and move forward with new stories, new chapters, like I talked about on the pre-show, which I thought was going to happen. But apparently there's still a lot of issues and a lot of rivalries that are going to get fixed out at Dynasty, Full Gear, and moving forward. Um, Joe did address Wardlow. Said he was a great competitor. He just isn't ready for this form of Samoa Joe. He also brought up Swerve referencing the poncho commentator gimmick. Joe laughed it off, saying, I'm still paid, still a millionaire." He goes, "I was just resting up. I wasn't ready to wrestle, so what else was he going to do?" So that was good that he really didn't crap on WWE for giving him that job, but also made it saying, I had to rest up. What else was I going to do? Not do anything. I'm still getting paid pretty much. That was a good interview. Will Ospreay came out. Will Ospreay, again, I've watched him before. I've watched him perform a lot outside the States, and I've seen him on TV. I'm a fan of Will Ospreay. Like, just listening to him and talk, he's the consummate family guy. He's a great father. Sounds like a great husband. He was asked if he had a lot of pressure coming in tonight. He talked about he really had all the eyes on him, needing to, quote, knock it out of the park, unquote. Really felt that pressure come in and really show the AEW fans what he's about, what he's capable of, and what he can do. He went all for his gump on everybody, and someone asked him about the spot, the botched turnbuckle brainbuster, and he's like, "Can I show you? Can I show you?" Stands up, and he's like, "I won't show you the cheek," and he showed his entire lower back that was just mashed up. So it's just funny for some of you folks that say it's fake and this and that. Like, yeah, it's fake. It's wicked predetermined. It's all scripted. These guys get hurt, and that dude took it in a spot where his liver is. That's fatal. You know, if you smash your liver, you can die. No joke. This isn't me being like talking in hyperbole. Tony Khan does enough of that. We're gonna get to that in a minute. I don't need to talk in hyperbole. You smash your lip. There's a reason why boxers who get a liver. That's why UFC and boxers, you hear like a liver punch or a liver kick, the fighter goes down. Go do yourself a favor. Go find a local fighter, somebody in your area. Ask them to punch you in the liver. Let me know how you feel 3 minutes after. You're probably gonna be in the ER. It's no joke. I just get really uptight when people talk about the whole fake aspect of wrestling. It's wicked scripted. It's wicked predetermined. Everyone knows that. They're jacked to throw people around. They're built for cardiovascular and cardio things to do in that ring go for long periods of time. But for the love of God, stop saying it's fake. Let me throw you out of a ring over the top rope, which is 12 feet off the ground. Let me see how you know how to land. Let me see how you do. It's just ridiculous with this that we're still talking about this in 2024. I digress. So Ospreay had an amazing scrum interview. Tony Storm came out, and I don't know if this is maybe some fallout. If none of you folks have seen the World's End scrum, Tony came out. She put her hat on Tony. Tony took a lot of shit for that. He was a running meme for a good probably 3 months after that. Probably still is, because that was in December, so it's February, March. Yeah, it's about 3 months. He's still a meme out there when people want to talk about Tony Khan. They throw the meme up there with Tony's big, like, British hat on her and his sunglasses, making fun of him. So Tony pretty much apparently had a predetermined statement to address the media because of the yellow communist journalism, I'm sorry. Again, it's late. It's almost 1:30 in the morning. I apologize. Yellow communist journalism going on. So again, her playing her part in the black and white actress of the 60s and 70s. I get it, doing the whole thing. But I think she just didn't want to do a lot of talking and interactions with Tony because of everything that happened before. Tony, you can see, definitely was keeping his distance. He was kind of just laughing at everything she did. He was kind of laughing it off and like kind of surprised by what she was doing. So you can tell there's definitely a different dichotomy, and this was done for a reason to kind of separate that, to make him more the owner and the GM, as opposed to being that friendly with the talent. She went on to thank a litany of people: the city of Greensboro, Sting, Mariah May, Luther, Aubrey Edwards, the commentators, Deanna Purrazzo, Tony Khan, Renee Paquette. Pretty sure she thanked the people at the concession stands too. There was a spot I didn't talk about this, but I wanted to. Because after Tony Storm wins the match, gets the 1, 2, 3. If you see, she throws the belt over to Mariah May, and you see May look down at it, smile, and kind of hold it close to her like she's the champion, kind of have a smile on her face. In the scrum, now again, everything happens, and if Khan is smart, they'll start putting the breadcrumbs down. In the scrum, now if you watch, Mariah May came out as old school Toni Storm from WWE, her past character and gimmick. She came out as her, and then Timeless Toni Storm came out. While she was doing this interview in the scrum, Mariah May was standing next to her, still dressed up. Now, again, I don't know how much of this. I haven't had the privilege of being at a scrum yet. We're trying to get into the AEW Big Business one, if there is one. We're trying to get in. I don't know how much of these are softballs, how much of these are pre-scripted. I'm sure WWE does the same thing. I'm sure they want certain things asked so they can address certain things and get on certain topics. But it was asked regarding the rankings of where Mariah May falls in those rankings. She's top 5 in the women's championship rankings. Tony looked over and said she's not ready yet. Don't confuse her with these kind of questions. The face on Mariah May was priceless. You want to talk timeless? Priceless. That break is coming. I don't think you're even going to get to Full Gear before that happens. This girl's going to know she wants a piece. Maybe that's why Tony held on to it. Maybe, like we talked about, the nefarious interference, which had happened to cost her. But at this point, on this turn of it, Luther and Mariah helped her keep the belt. Maybe Luther ends up going to Mariah as a champion, a younger, more vibrant person. Younger version of her. It makes sense. Newer version, newer model, if you will. So there's that. That was interesting. That was definitely interesting to see that. With that being said, it definitely had some headway into what's going to be going on down the road. And then they finally had Sting come out. Sting and Darby came out. Darby was beat the hell up. That dude is still bleeding from different places. He's bandaged up. He had stitches on his lower back. Wild. The fact that he even came out. And he did address that, why he came out. I'll talk about that in a minute. So before I go into this, they did do a little bit of talking with Tony Khan before Sting came out. I don't like to talk a lot in hyperbole a lot of times, but there are some things that were said by Renee Paquette and also by Tony Khan that I feel like just aren't true. And I know whether you're the WWE, your AEW, your TNA, your NWA, your New Japan, okay, you all, this whole greatest ever insert after this. It happens all the time. Speaking in this kind of hyperbole, it happens. When you speak for your product. When you speak for your product, I get it. When you can say, this was the greatest match in WWE history. Okay, now I have something to measure it on. I can measure it on, 45 years of wrestling. This is the greatest match in AEW history. Okay, now I have 5 years of matches I can kind of gauge this on. But when you're Tony Khan and you say that you just put on the greatest wrestling pay-per-view ever. What? Huh? Seriously? Come on, man. If you're watching this, I don't care if you're an AEW fan. Come on, man. Greatest ever? Do you know what the bar is for greatest ever? And I'm not even going to throw out WrestleMania 17 because that's probably one of the best pay-per-views ever put on in any promotion with the card that they had and the matches and rivalries that they had. But why are we calling it the greatest ever? Why are we doing that? Because of an 8-man all-star scramble? Because of an AEW, FTR, BCC tag team banger? A 10-minute Tony Storm and Purrazzo championship match? Why? It's the greatest ever because why? Because Sting's last match happened on it? I'm sorry, that doesn't pass the sniff test. That's wicked hyperbole, and that is so just ballsy and egotistical to just think that you just put on the best pay-per-view ever when you didn't. Because you didn't. A lot of those matches, no, man. No. I'm sorry. And it's just funny that they're out here saying this kind of stuff. And I get it. Tony said it. He's like, this is the greatest moment of my life. That makes sense. At this point in time right now in 2024, is this one of the greatest moments of the year? Probably. I can't really see anything else beating this. I can't see anyone retiring unless Randy Orton decides to go out in WWE. Or there's someone that we don't know about that's going to go out on top. Maybe John Cena retires, but that won't happen until probably next year, going to the Hall of Fame. Is this probably one of the best moments of 2024? Absolutely. Sting is a timeless icon, which I just said a little while ago talking about his match. The fact that, in Sting's words, TNA and WWE didn't get the job done how he wanted to finish his career, and Tony was able to get it done in AEW, phenomenal. But that's what it is. The match is phenomenal. But to put these other 8 matches on this card on a pedestal of being the best ever, I'm sorry. That's borderline asinine and just stupid to say that. And again, I'm not taking away from any of these matches or anything that these performers did tonight. But if you want to rank, if this is supposed to be AEW's WrestleMania, if this is supposed to be your reset pay-per-view, where things are ended, new rivalries are started, and whatever. And for those of you who haven't watched, I don't think we tweeted out about it, but AEW recently put a trademark in and obviously got the nod for AEW Dynasty. Now, it was announced at the end of Revolution that the next pay-per-view coming out of St. Louis, emanating from there, will be AEW Dynasty. So Tony did talk about in the scrum about adding more pay-per-views. Someone did ask about the Saturday and Sunday thing, about why World's End was on Saturday, Revolution was on Sunday. Tony had a great point. World's End was on the 30th. Why would I put a pay-per-view on the 31st? It's New Year's Eve. Pretty much everyone who's gonna watch my pay-per-view. I'm trying to get buy rates here, man. So I can definitely see Tony trying to. He also referenced the NFL schedule. Why would I put things on Sunday nights when there's Sunday Night Football? Which, again, smart move. But you run into the things where you just have to kind of. He did mention the competition, so you don't obviously want to put on a pay-per-view the same night as WWE, unless you're ready for that smoke to go that route and to see where you rank or how you hold up against them. But I just think it's kind of rough when people are paying $5.99 at least for Peacock to watch the PLE. When you're charging $35 or $40 or $50 for a pay-per-view, people are kind of going to choose the Peacock probably and just catch the highlights on Twitter. So again, I don't want to sit here and I don't want to crap all over AEW. I'm not. I'm really not. And those of you that watch my show regularly know I'm equal opportunity for everybody. But I'm going to call it like I see it. And I'm going to call you out when you say this is the greatest pay-per-view ever. This is probably some of the worst hyperbole I've ever heard in a long time. It was great because of Sting. Sting had an amazing main event. Amazing spots by Darby Allin. Sting was able to have his sons. Great moments. Was able to beat the Jacksons. Overcome all the odds. Ric Flair was involved. And Ricky the Dragon Steamboat come down as your timekeeper. Awesome moment. Good feel. Everyone's crying in the audience. At least 3 or 4 GIFs are going to come out of it. Amazing. Amazing last 40 minutes. Not an amazing 4 hours. I'm sorry. So with that being said, Tony did give a couple Easter eggs, couple breadcrumbs to get you to tune in if you watch the media scrum. We tweeted a lot of it out on Twitter at Chairshot Sports. He was, again, we talked about the pay-per-views. He's trying to be on Sundays when it works, when it doesn't work against holidays, obviously NFL Sundays, things like that. So I'm sure in the summer we'll see a lot of Sunday pay-per-views to go against WWE PLEs on Saturdays. He did talk about that now that Sting's retiring and whatever's next for Darby Allin, the tag titles will be vacated as of I guess after the scrum, so they will be vacated. There will be, as he referenced, a tournament, not just the second biggest tournament in March, obviously referencing March Madness, targeting referencing the second biggest bracket in the country at the time, which was cute. So there's going to be a tag team tournament for the tag championships, which is awesome. And also, which is great, I was very excited to hear about this because we're going to be there announcing some breaking news, quote unquote. Whatever's next for Darby, I'm guessing in his singles career. It's going to be Darby Allin versus Jay White at Big Business in Boston in 2 weeks. So very excited to see that matchup. I'm very, very, very excited. I had the privilege of meeting Darby about a year and a half ago. If you watched the show earlier at the TNT Championship up here, he signed that. He was an amazing guy to talk to. Awesome, awesome guy. So that was cool. That was cool to hear about. That's gonna be a really, I think, cool match to see. I think anytime you're going against Jay White, and also too, speaking of Jay White, it's funny we talk about Jay White because Jay White definitely had some funny words for the Acclaimed as far as with Max screwing up his lines and things like that, and Jay kind of saying that he's the reason behind the whole faction. You could see a lot of the other guys kind of getting pissed off about it. So I think that's going to come into play in the next 2 to 3 months. Maybe you might see that at Blood and Guts. Maybe the groups break up again, do something in Blood and Guts, grab some other people, wrestle in the cage. But that's that. So AEW Revolution, B+. B+. Amazing matches. I think a lot of stories got told. Again, some title defenses and some retentions that I think don't make sense. A lot of the ones we did call that one make sense moving forward. You can kind of see where the storyline's going to take place with them moving forward to Dynasty and Full Gear. Switching gears over to the WWE side, more specifically NXT. This upcoming Tuesday, NXT is putting on their sub-pay-per-view Roadblock, which we talked about earlier is tying up a lot of loose ends and kind of setting up a lot of their storylines moving into Stand and Deliver, which is their WrestleMania held on WWE WrestleMania weekend. So one of the big matches happening this upcoming Tuesday is Chase U versus Corbin and Breakker for the NXT Tag Championships. This is a hard one to call. I don't know if they're going to take the belts off of Corbin and Braun this early. Braun has obviously had already 2 weeks in a row squash matches on SmackDown. He was featured in the Royal Rumble. He took Brock Lesnar's spot, had an amazing showing. The guy's a great specimen. He's great in the ring, great on the mic. He's gotten leaps and bounds better on 2 years he's been in NXT. A lot of people say he was held down a little bit too long. I don't think so. I think he was held just the right amount of time. And I think Corbin was what he needed to kind of be that last piece of the... And what you need to understand when these guys are paired with a Hall of Famer, Corbin's not in there yet, but definitely first ballot. But someone who's been in the business this long and has been up and down the roads, has been a champion, has been in the situations that Baron has been in. You learn from those people. And Corbin is probably one of the best guys on the mic. I'm sure they still script a little bit for him, but that guy shoots from the hip, and he's amazing at it. Some of the best crowd work I've seen on Raw, SmackDown, and even at NXT. Cutting down his opponents, cutting down the crowd. Just an amazing, amazing worker on the mic. And you can see Braun has learned a lot from that. Braun has been a lot better talking on NXT. Even when he does his shot, when he's doing his shorts on Raw and on SmackDown. Great presence, great talking points. Awesome, awesome job. I don't know what their match would be at Stand Deliver. There are a lot of people gunning for those belts. A lot of people. I can see Chase U losing because of outside interference. Other tag teams getting involved, causing a DQ. My original call for Stand Deliver is a fatal 4-way with 4 tag teams. Kind of like that 4-way tornado tag. Anyone can tag anyone in from any team kind of thing going on. That might be your way for Braun, and for Corbin to lose. Best way to not make them look soft or weak. Corbin could go up to the main roster with Braun Breakker. I think they're going to push Braun as a singles guy. I don't think Baron's going to go with it, make that trip. I think Corbin's doing exactly what he needs to do in NXT. He took the one guy, the blue chipper that they need to get ready and get him into main roster form and shape. And I think Corbin did that, and he's the first one pushed out. It's really hard to tell who's going to be the next guy in NXT. I can tell you, Carmelo Anthony, if he doesn't go out the Monday or Friday after WrestleMania, he's going to be a draft picked off of NXT. Trick Williams, I think took off way faster than I thought he would. That iron is hot. Braun was huge. They kept him down at NXT, but it doesn't work all the time when you keep the talent down for so long, and they're still fan favorites. Braun went from heel, face, mega heel, and then going to this face heel role with Corbin because people love the team and their dichotomy and their comedy and love them being champions. Doesn't work with everybody. Doesn't work with everybody. What happens when Melo goes up and it's just Trick? Now what does Trick do after that's done? Can he maintain the speed and the momentum he has as that huge face in the adversity of a major heel like Carmelo Hayes? So I picked Chase U to win it. I think this could be Chase U wins it, and then they demand a rematch. Everyone demands a rematch. They go into stand and deliver as non-champions. Don't come out as champs because of another team winning or whatnot. Whatever happens backstage, they shake hands. Hey, listen, man, good luck with everything. All right, man, I'll be here if you need it. And maybe down the road they reconvene if Braun needs something. But I think they kind of shake hands, part ways as friends, and Corbin continues what he's doing at NXT, and Braun Breaker starts his new career up at SmackDown. The next one is Dijak and Joe Gacy in an Asylum match. Now, I've said this before. Joe Gacy, I think is working totally off the cuff. I don't think they had anything from this guy when Schism went off the rails. Ava was not working in that group. The Grizzled Young Veterans wanted their release. They were like, this sucks. We want out. So Joe was left there holding the check with nothing to do. With nothing creatively. Like, they took his whole faction and it was gone. And this is the second time this has happened. They've paired him with people, and those people have been released, asked for their release, or just haven't worked out. Ava is doing amazing as a general manager of NXT. I think personally she has some mic issues, some issues with talking and getting into everything. But these past 2-3 weeks, ever since she's taken on that role and been more influential in being on TV, I'm sure she's getting coached from others. I'm sure Sean's coaching her. I'm sure Regal's being in her ear about how to do things, how to be on camera, how to work on the talking and stuff like that. She's done an amazing job in definitely getting where she needs to be. And not for nothing, I'm sure Dwayne has talked to his daughter about what to do on TV and how to help her out as far as it comes to talking on the stick. Dijak, I think, loses this match. It's going to be Joe Gacy. I've seen Dijak wrestle at Battleground, and then I saw him wrestle at Deadline. Okay? There's one common factor that Dijak has anytime leading up to a PLE for NXT. He wins, and then when the PLE comes, smashed, he loses. For Battleground, he won. He went against Ilya for the championship. Boom, gets smashed. I'm sorry, it was for the championship. I apologize. It was a street fight. Goes against Ilya. Boom, gets smashed. Before Deadline, wins. Looks dominant going into the championship scramble match. Boom, doesn't even get a pin. So it's like that's his MO. So obviously he's got Gacy in a straitjacket. He's beating dudes up with police sticks, kendos, chairs, beating everyone up. What's gonna happen when he gets to Roadblock? Gacy's gonna win. Whether it be some awesome interference, whether it's an Asylum match, so anything goes, I would imagine. But it's kind of Dijak's MO. He kind of builds you up to the pay-per-view, PLE, and then loses it and gives it up to whoever the baby face of the month. And Gacy, like I said, I think deserves everything he gets. He has been compared to a Bray Wyatt. He has that weird, crazy look to him. I think he has the gimmick of him being like that weird. It escapes me at the moment to talk about it, but like the cult leader kind of thing, drink the Kool-Aid. I think that's kind of his thing. I think it works for him, but he needs to find a new cult. And that's what he doesn't have right now. Maybe he can go find it on SmackDown. Maybe he can go find it on Raw. Maybe they have a new group of guys coming up from NXT where he can find it as well. I don't know, but But I think Gacy goes over, and it moves on to something really, really good, moving to Stand Deliver. And depending on what that is, maybe he moves up to the main roster after Mania and when the draft comes around. Um, really cool match. The Kabuki Warriors are making a appearance at Roadblock. Um, I mean, them Valkyria. It doesn't matter who they pair Valkyria up with. It doesn't matter. Um, the Kabuki Warriors are gonna win. I just think it's great that they're actually bringing them down to SmackDown. I mean NXT. The biggest problem I have with the women's titles is that they have to go on every single brand. Like you need to have like some NXT Women Championships, man. Like you need to keep someone somewhere has to have tag belts on their own show. These two women can't be expected to run around all three brands defending this belt, and it just sucks because those belts should be defended a lot more than the men's. I feel like the women's tag division is deep, even if you're pairing people together. Just kind of throwing people together. I don't want to say, but like pairing them together, I think there's a market for that. There's matches that people want to see. So Kabuki Warriors, obviously, they're walking into WrestleMania with those belts. It's gonna be interesting to see. We're gonna talk about that in a couple weeks when we do our WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 prediction show. Who the Kabuki Warriors defend against? Honestly, I don't think anyone in the new Damage Control walks out of Mania with any gold. I think they strip the entire group down. We'll talk about it a little more after this week. The match that I really want to talk about that obviously needs to happen, that has so many implications. If you watch NXT week in, week out, and you see the breadcrumbs and you see what they've been doing and how they've built this up. Next week is going to be Mello versus the Don. Tony D'Angelo in a now number one contenders match to see who faces Ilya at Stand Deliver. If you watch the product, you watch this show, you know what's going to happen. There's only three dudes that were in that ring. Yeah, Carmelo Hayes, Tony D'Angelo, and Ilya. Where's Trick? Trick's still injured, right? Come on, this man's obviously going to rear his ugly head. He's going to rear his face-popping, crowd-pumping face this upcoming week at Roadblock and interfere in this match. And whatever happens, whether it's a no DQ, whoever Mello's going to come down, here we go. It's going to be a four-way at Stand and Deliver. And it needs to be, because D'Angelo, I think, is probably one of your next solid NXT champions moving into 2024 after WrestleMania. Carmelo is up. He's gone. He's going to be going to SmackDown or Raw, wherever he signs. Carmelo's gone. Trick, I don't know yet. I don't know if he kind of stays down there another 6 to 8 months. Maybe gets called up later on with something maybe appears. Like Trick is easy to keep at NXT with Carmelo Hayes moving up to the main roster, because when something goes down, whether Hayes goes face, needs a partner, has no one else to help him out, makes a phone call, here comes Trick Williams, or mega heel, beating the hell out of everybody, nobody can beat him, here comes Trick Williams. Like either way it works out for you. It kind of gives Trick a get out of jail free card if things aren't working down in NXT. He's gonna be champion. So him and Tony are probably the two guys you're gonna see that belt be on for the majority of 2024. Dijak is definitely a dark horse to get that belt. I believe he should have that belt. Again, he's one of those good soldiers. He does a lot of work. Great work. A lot of matches. Eats a lot of L's when he needs to, but also out there doing the work. Promo. He does a lot of promos. A lot of great mic work. So I think he's deserving of that, even for a couple months. I think he needs to taste some NXT gold before, so you put him in Retribution. The least you can do is give him the NXT title before he gets the call up to the main roster. Ilya, I don't know if he gets over on the main roster, to be perfectly honest with you. I think there are some people that just need to stay and sit on NXT, and that's not a bad thing. I don't say that as a derogatory or insulting kind of thing. I just believe there's some people that are made for NXT. We've seen it before. Some people come up, doesn't work out. Where's Cameron Grimes? Who? Cameron Grimes. Who? Yeah, exactly. The man was over. He made his own little $1 million gimmick which is a knockoff of the $1 Million Man. They even had Ted DiBiase come in to help him with it. He had a great feud with LA Knight, ends up winning the $1 Million Championship, does his thing over with the crowd, comes up to SmackDown. No market for him. Now the guy's just sitting catering with nothing going on. Yeah, he'll pop in the Rumble. He'll pop into like a battle royal here and there. Maybe a squash match to someone that needs to go over. But again, there's just some people that unfortunately have to go back to NXT. Look who just came back to NXT 2 weeks ago. The Good Brothers. Like, I'm a huge fan of the Good Brothers. And it's just not a market right now. With AJ doing his solo heel gimmick, it's just there's no room for him. But where do you put him? NXT. I think NXT in the next 3 to 6 months. I think a vision before the whole NXT 2.0 thing. NXT was on the road. I really think you're going to see that as being built as a third brand, and the third brand can be a lot of things for you. It can still be your feeder development brand, but it can also feature. And again, I'm not being derogatory. I'm not being insensitive or insulting when I say this. Some gimmicks aren't going to get over on Raw and SmackDown. And sometimes there's not enough time on those two shows. Okay? So you got to put them on NXT. All right? What do you think Rampage is for AEW? Okay? That's what Rampage is. Oh, you want some time on TV? We'll tape you after Dynamite and we'll put you on. There you go. We'll put you on Dynamite. I'm sorry. We'll put you on Rampage. We don't even have time for you on Collision. We'll put you on Rampage. That's pretty much. You got anything for me on Raw? No. What about SmackDown? We can put you on NXT though for like a 20-minute match. You want that? We got that for you 1 week. And that's where you got to go earn it. You got to show what you got. Get the crowd back onto you. I think that's what Baron Corbin's doing. But I think Corbin has like understood and kind of sold himself for the fact of like he kind of just wants to be that low-key kind of trainer and teacher and just hang out in NXT, have a good time, and just be that heel that no one likes and help build up other talent and get them to where they got to go to get up to Raw and SmackDown. So those are the 4 matches that have only been talked about and advertised as of me doing this recording. The North American Championship has not been announced as far as a match. Oba did ask for a match against whoever it is. I don't care. Just put someone in front of me. That might get announced tomorrow night on Raw. Might even be an impromptu announce on Tuesday night. But yeah, Stand Deliver is gonna be good. We'll talk about that next week. After Roadblock, we'll talk about the results and what it's looking like, how that card's shaping up for them. Like that's their WrestleMania. Yeah. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys joining me. I know it's late. I'm sure a lot of you are watching this. It's probably early in the morning for you. If you're watching this now, God bless you. It's probably almost 2 in the morning on the East Coast. We're tired. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. So any misinformation, me seeming to talk fast or not making any sense, I apologize. It's been a long day. It's the second show of the day after doing our AEW prediction show earlier today. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, you can find us on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Instagram at Chairshot Sports for all 3. I encourage you, if you're watching this, if you like what you're hearing, you like what you see, please shoot the video a like, give our channel a subscribe. We appreciate it. It helps us out in the algorithm, helps us to continue to put out good quality content for you guys. It also helps us with gaining sponsors. And if you follow our Twitter, you see we do a lot of contests, a lot of giveaways, and all that does is help me more do bigger and better prices for you guys with bigger and better sponsors. So please shoot us a subscribe, hit that notification button whenever we put a new episode out, which is every week. And again, like I said, Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube as well. It's at Chairshot Sports. So guys, again, I'm John Anthony. Hope you guys enjoyed AEW Revolution. Get excited for NXT Roadblock, and we're going to talk to you soon.